Hi, I'm Mert, and I'm an Altaholic. Welcome back to Altaholics Achievements. It's the World of Warcraft challenge series where I finally stop rolling new characters and actually finish some content. I'm going through every single expansion and finishing every achievement in this expansion. The end goal, of course, is to have all achievements complete on my account that are available.
Alright.
Right now, the rules are simple. One zone at a time, focus on quests and exploration, and no re-rolling until an expansion or the continent is done. Hello there, and welcome to the supercut of Season 1 of Altaholic Achievements. It is wild to me that we are here, I think 9 episodes in, the supercut is out, and this is amazing. So thank you all so much for clicking on the video and for being here. This is all of my episodes mushed into one delightful long episode for you to fall asleep to, or whatever you do, play WoW while it's in the background. So just so you know, these are episodes that have been put together, so you will see an evolution and a change of my editing style, my presentation, and what I try to do throughout these episodes. I found it really fascinating through my watch through, so I hope you find it fascinating as well. There may be little sharp changes, things that have moved from one place to another all of a sudden. That's because it's literally the episode end and the episode start, and I didn't want to put those in. I cut it all up so it's sort of one movie, if you will. Please let me know if you liked this, if you saw the evolution, or if you just chilled out and vibed playing WoW while it was in the background. I loved making these. Season 2 is already underway. Our next character has already been made. I play him on my Twitch and YouTube streams. Check those out. Comments and links all down below. Without further ado, let us get into this movie. Thank you again for watching. In World of Warcraft, I'm the kind of player who's rolled every class, level too many odds to count, and still somehow never finished anything. What? But that changes today. This is my mission to go from achievement slacker to completionist, one painful, grindy, glorious step at a time. From dungeons and raids to obscure fishing quests and ridiculous holiday events, I'm doing all of it. And yes, I'm aware it will take me a long time. Every mount, every title, every zone explored, and yes, even the pet battles. If you're an Altaholic like me, or you love the grind, I hope you enjoy. Come along for the ride. The first step in this challenge was simple. Start over. I tried doing it on my old account, but so many half-finished alts, scattered progress, and forgotten goals, it didn't feel right. So I did what I do best, and I made an alt account, a clean slate I'll call it, to justify it. I've been playing ever since Burning Crusade, and well, here is a summary of my achievements so far. Yeah. And here is a list of my alts. Yeah. But this time it's different. I've picked a monk because that was the first class I ever mained, and a Draenei because honestly it's something I've never really done. So I have created Brometus, and it is time to explore World of Warcraft with fresh eyes. This is Altaholics Achievements, where I finally stop re-rolling and start finishing. So the first thing you notice when you start a brand new World of Warcraft account, mind you, haven't done it since I was young, they really go out of their way to make it easy for you now. You get a little new player chat, a restricted class and race list, and they throw you into Exile's Reach, the new tutorial zone. It's a decent little introduction, sure, teaches you the ropes well enough, but not being able to edit my UI right away, that's just weird. Anyway, this isn't a playthrough. This is an achievement run. I'll be skipping through most text quests, ignoring filler, and slowing down only when it's something that actually interests me, and I think it'll interest you too, or contribute towards the achievement progress. So, in the spirit of that, here's a fun question for you all. What do you think your first achievement is in a fresh World of Warcraft account? Leveling to 10? Killing your first mob? Or completing your first quest? No, it's not. It's Represent, equipping the Guild Tabard. Yeah, I didn't see that coming either.
See you around.
But hey, I have my first achievement unlocked. We go through the rest of Exile Reach missions. Gaining a few easy achievements along the way.
What's on your mind?
It's time to leave. And also, look at me. I'm a pretty boy. Prometheus is already glowing. And on top of me being a pretty boy, I can finally mount up as well. After arriving at Stormwind, I hit my first real decision point. What content do I tackle first? In the end, I decided with the classic zones. Cataclysm already changed a lot, and last time I played heavily was classic, so I was genuinely curious as to what zones have changed and by how much. And I wanted to see them with fresh eyes. Before heading out, I needed to do some housekeeping. There were a few basic, easy achievements I could grab, and these are the ones I remembered. I picked up some professions, I hit the barber for a fresh look, and I grabbed a few pet-related quests, something I've never really cared about before. There's a little foreshadowing there. One thing I want to be completely transparent about is I don't really know the best way to get anything done. I don't know how to look up the next achievement to get, what's the easiest achievement, or even in what order to do them in. I've tried a few different ways and I can't really find something, so if you know a way to do it better, please let me know in the comments down below. But I did try a few things like transmog and buying stuff from the trading post. I thought maybe purchasing something from there would work, but no, I just ended up getting a cool pet, and that was good enough. And I did spend a really long time trying to organize my account and get it all locked up with the multi-factor authentication. So I just sat in this inn for the longest time. Oh, and if you were wondering, I decided to go the Windwalker Monk. I was really debating between Brewmaster and Windwalker so I could do these dungeons a bit easier, but in the end I decided Windwalker is fun, it's goofy, and I like it. Back when I mained, I was a Mistweaver, believe it or not. Your boy Altaholic actually enjoyed healing. But this time, I need to not focus on letting other people do the jobs of damaging. It is my turn. And you never know, I'll probably go back to healing because Mistweaver is the best healer in the game. Fight me on it, I dare you. At first, I plan to skip Elwyn Forest. It doesn't have its own quest achievements, and exploring the area is much easier when you're flying at level 20. But then, boom, the pet battles. Right in my face, unavoidable. So, I had to give it a shot. I skipped all of the training tutorials and went straight to the first pet battler. Needless to say, Snake Lady 1, me 0. But this is an achievement run. I don't fail. It's not just a casual stroll. I never accept defeat. So, I did what any millennial raised on Pokemon would do. Cue the training montage. Dust settled. Absolute wipeout. Snake Lady did not stand a chance.
Have a good one.
And with that victory under my belt, I was feeling pumped. Wouldn't you know it? The next pet battle, well, that's in Westfall. So lucky me! Achievement progress and story momentum? Let's go! So the next stop, obviously, was Westfall. And honestly, it was a blast. Visually, it was pretty much exactly the same as how I remembered it. But the story, that caught me off guard a little bit. In Classic, you take down the big bad guy Edward Van Cleef. He runs the Defias Bandits, and he's a terrible guy, apparently. In this, there's murmurings of a mysterious woman who is stirring up the people yet again. You see this mysterious figure a few times, and you partake in a few different quests around them, including killing these guys. I don't know why, I just murdered them. You find out his daughter is rallying the Defias crew back together. She ends up back in the dead mines, and that's who the boss is, I assume. I don't know yet. Haven't been there. But in the end, you go back to the king and you report on the full-blown rebellion. And you get a cool halberd as well. Completed all the quests, explored the zone completely, and even attempted to solo the dead mines, which went horribly. Let's say Brometus got humbled, and we'll leave it at that. Now, with Westfall being 100% complete, next up is Red Ridge Mountains. Let's keep the grind going. But before jumping in, I wanted to shout out a few of the comments that were made in the last video. There were so many. And apart from everyone loving the series, the main takeaway was getting all the things, which I now have. And it's made a massive difference. Right now, I'm just using it to track zone achievements and pets because that's really helpful. But thanks to this add-on, it has helped me realize that there is another goal I can be working towards at the same time as the rest of them, and that is the achievement to all the squirrels I have loved before, which had me flying around Westfall and Elwyn Forest / loving all of the critters I could find on this list. Yet, sorry about the weird framing on the Westfall and Elwyn Forest, it does get fixed by the end of it, so don't worry, it won't be like that for long. With that all cleaned up, it's time to move to the Red Ridge Mountains. This zone actually surprised me. It leans really hard on the old school humans versus orcs situation, and as a horde player mainly, it's hard to see my team as the bad guys, but I'll do it just for once. You're recruited by a group of soldiers with serious beef against the Black Rock clan. You free their team from some caves, you build up a squad, and suddenly, you're in a tank. Yeah, like a tank. It's cool, man. It's cool. Together with a squad, using nothing but the power of friendship, plot armor, and absurd amounts of health, you defeat waves of the enemy. All of the elites are nothing for your team, except for when they got captured earlier and you had to free them. For some reason, that was a problem, but now it's not. Anyway, don't worry about it. In the end, we take down a dragon. That's right, a dragon. Again, it's kind of weird because they got captured before and now they're not captured. They can take down dragons, but they couldn't before. But I will say it's because I was there. Anyway, by the end of the zone, I've knocked out the Red Ridge Quest achievement and the Explore Red Ridge Mountains achievement. I also did a few pet battles. All in all, Red Ridge, beautiful. Packed with enemies, easy for leveling, full of ridiculous story beats and cinematics, which I may or may not have skipped. I'm used to skipping them, alright? I'll work on it, I promise. And now, we take ourselves to Duskwood. As I said before, I am a long-time Horde guy. I've got to say, these spooky Alliance zones are really, really lovely. They're more my speed. They remind me of Tristful Glades. Undead everywhere, creepy forests, spiders, and always plenty of enemies to aggro you while you run away on full health. I've always liked Duskwood for its atmosphere, and I'll be honest, I never really understood the story. And after doing it again, I still don't. You run into Darkshire, pick up a bunch of quests, gather some animal parts, kill some Worgen, go back, kill some undead, then back to more Worgen, and then back again to the town. Eventually there's a crypt, there's more undead, more killing. You get the idea. I don't know what I'm doing. It wasn't bad. It just wasn't as nice as other zones quest-wise. But hey, it was quick, and it got me the achievements we needed. It also got a few spider pets, which is always lovely for the collection. But I'll admit, it is a very pretty zone, I'll give it that much, so I don't mind being there. Finally, in this video, we will be heading to Stranglethorn Vale. It's technically 2 areas, but we're doing it as one because it's just lovely and it's a continuation of what it used to be. STV is fondly remembered by me in the classic days. It's really pretty, it's troll areas, which I love, and it's the classic voodoo tropes and everyone's trying to get everyone's power and all that stuff. So how did it hold up this time? It was still amazing. In North STV, you help the Hemet Nessing Way expedition, which will be a bit of a theme throughout this because there's a few achievements for these guys. They're big game hunters. They like to kill stuff. They like to get all of the parts from stuff. And that's practically it. You also deal with some trolls that do some troll things. And they're trying to resurrect some ancient blood god or something. There is a dungeon there that will help explain that a bit more, but it's heroic only, so I went in there, freaked out, and left. I'll try and attempt it when I'm a higher level. Somewhere around these 2 areas as well, I hit level 35, which is when you start insta-killing enemies, and it made the game so much easier for what we need to do. Needless to say,
Off with you.
quest done,
Save.
exploration done. Time to move to the Cape, which I find was probably my favourite place so far. Down in the south, the vibe shifts to pirates, outlaws, and goblins. Get involved in the shady dealings of the Booty Bay, fight against the Bloodsail Buccaneers, and eventually take part in a full-on battle, which was really cool. The story culminates in a clash between the defenders and the Bloodsail invaders. The troll threat still lingers in the background, but that doesn't really matter. I loved the conflict, pirates versus goblins, trolls hiding in the background. It had everything. It's also a reputation achievement that I want to knock out eventually, where you have to kill everyone in Booty Bay multiple times to get on the pirate side to get a hat. Which I want the hat, man. But I'll see how that goes for standings. I don't want to mess up my standings before I commit to any. And there we have it. 4 zones down in 1 episode. A bunch of achievements ticked up. Don't worry, we'll go through those later. And a solid chunk of the Eastern Kingdoms complete. But before we call it a day, there's one thing that we have to do. Back to the Dead Mines. I tried before and I failed. And now that I have outleveled it, it's time for payback. It was a blast. Like, it was just super easy this time. You just run through, you do your crazy circle kick, and you keep running. I don't really have much more to say than that. It was super simple. In the end, the final boss was Cookie, which is a delicious surprise. Pun intended. With that, dungeon ticked off. Westfall is out of my mind. I really enjoyed that zone, and the dungeon was great too. With the checklist getting ticked off pretty quick, I'm excited. But I am very aware there is so much more to come. Before we dive into the next zone, there are a few housekeeping items I want to tick off. First, I picked up the Stormwind camera. I'll be using that for the photographing documentations on my travel, and also the achievement along the way. Then I grabbed the fishing rod and the profession because, well, I need to level that up because, well, achievements. And finally, I treated myself to a few new mounts. I realized that they're right there, so why aren't I picking them up? With all of that sorted, it's time to head back into the world, keep the challenge going. Before we dive into the next zone, I want to take a moment to highlight something important for this challenge. Holiday and calendar events in World of Warcraft. These limited events pop up throughout the year, and there are a lot of them. From Brewfest to Hallow's End to Noble Garden, a Midsummer Fire Festival. Each one offers unique achievements, pets, mounts, cosmetics, and sometimes even quest lines. Now, to be clear, these won't count as zone lock content for the challenge. They're seasonal and time limited, so I'll be weaving them into episodes whenever they're active, instead of treating them like a zone I need to complete. So yes, you'll definitely see me taking detours to get into these as they pop up. They're a big part of WoW's world and history, and some have achievements tied to them that are too good to pass up. So yes, this was a big lead up to the Darkmoon Faire. Now, if you've played WoW for a while, you've probably heard of it, and also probably gone to the Isle yourself. Done a few things and then walked away, because why are you there? You're not getting levels. But in true spirit of this challenge, I've decided to go straight in. It's more than just carnival games and creepy vibes. There's lots of achievements here. The Darkmoon Faire was first introduced in patch 1.6 in Classic WoW as a travelling event. Popped up once a month in the Elwyn Forest and Mulgore, depending on the rotation. And back then, it was mostly just about turning in decks of Darkmoon cards for those epic trinkets. Over time, it evolved into something way bigger. They had a massive overhaul back in Cataclysm, and they permanently set it on the Darkmoon Island itself, mysterious, fog-covered island. So it has a few main features in this. Lots of mini-games, a lot of professional skill quests, different quests and achievements tied to it as well, which lead to the outer world as well, dungeons, PvP, and there's an awesome aesthetic to this, very Tim Burton film. So, while this isn't a zone, I'll be tackling this to the best of my ability, as it's part of this world and I want to dive into it and treat it like something I must conquer. So, let's get into the Darkmoon Faire.
Glory to the Sindorai.
Very well then.
As you first run into the Darkmoon Faire, you can't help but to be taken aback by the alien landscape. Bright lights, strange music, in a sense that you've walked into another world entirely. It's not about war here for once. It's about fun, games, and a little bit of friendly competition. So, without further ado, let us walk into the first game, Whack-A-Knoll. Now, Whack-A-Knoll is simple. It is just whack-a-mole. Grab your hammer, run to the barrels, and smack the knolls. You hit the normal knoll, you'll get 1 point. Hogger is 3 and the baby knocks you back. You get 60 seconds to score 30 points to get the daily, or 45 points to get the achievement. Now, after a few attempts, I realized that it does lag a little bit, so you have to be standing still in order. And after a few tries, we finally got here. Here is my perfect run, if you will. I completed it. I was proud of myself, and it took about 6 turns, I think. I probably could have done it sooner if I was paying more attention to how it worked. But anyway, I did it. Next up is the humanoid cannonball. It's exactly what you think it is. You fire yourself from the Blastenheimer 5000 cannon and land in the water. Essentially, you just want to score a bullseye, that's it. Not near it, not close to it, just get a bullseye. And the achievement, funny enough, is Blastenheimer Bullseye, landing exactly in the target center to unlock it. Well, here are my attempts. It only took about 3.
Hi, you're a tall one. Off and away.
That's right. I didn't realize until right at the end that you could just talk to that person and teleport back. That's my fault. I wasn't paying attention. Anyway, on to the next stall, which is the shooting stall. I'll be completely honest with you here. I don't know how I got the achievement. I think I got it right away, and then I went, oh, I have to finish this daily. Let's quickly shoot the rest of these targets. So, don't know how I got this one, everyone. This just happened. Enjoy. Yeah, that game sucks. I would suggest never playing that game. Ever. Anyway, we're on to aim at the turtle, the ring toss, which honestly is probably one of the hardest ones. I just didn't like it. I wasn't good at it. As you can see in this sped up version of my exhaustion, it sucks. You have to hit 10 out of 10 rings on this turtle, and it's really difficult. Triumphant turtle tossing is definitely a good name for this because you feel triumphant. I think I actually fist pumped after this one. The way to do it essentially is wait for the turtle to get to the outermost part of his pat, and then when he goes back, like the second before he turns back, throw the ring. As he sort of stops, you press the button and it channels the throw of the ring, and then you'll eventually land it on. You'll get the timing eventually. It just is exhausting. Good luck with it.
See you later.
Alright, we're on to the tank battle simulator. I'm pretty sure this took 1 or 2 shots. It's as simple as just press the buttons and hit the targets as fast as possible and avoid the other tanks. It's really not difficult, doesn't need much explanation. Just enjoy, I guess.
That target.
Well, we're nearly done. For the minigames anyway. We're on to some pretty hard ones after this. The ones that took my brain and melted it into a fine paste. But before we got there, we enjoyed one final easier one, which is the Firebirds Challenge. This is as simple as flying through flaming rings using temporary flight boosts. You fly through 10, 20, or 50 to earn increasing awards. And 50 earns you the Blazing Wings toy, which is pretty cool. But that is the max achievement as well. So, got through that. The key though, if you want to try it yourself, fly around the outside and then finish off with the inside rings. If you fly around the inside too much and then go outside, you'll lose that temporary boost. Little hot tip from Mert himself. Alright, finally we are on to one of the really difficult ones. Now for this, I say it is difficult. It's quite easy and simple in the end. But the dancing minigame has so many achievements tied to it. It is worth doing. Now this is one of those ones, along with the racing, that I will say I did not do all of them this time. I had a limited amount of time to play this week. It's only a week-long event, and honestly my brain was melting by the end of the races. I was going crazy. So for these dance ones, it is pretty simple. You need to just finish the dances. Perfect, get none wrong. You have to time them right for the slower ones. I started with the hardest one. It was pretty simple. Once I moved to the slower ones, it was more difficult because I actually had to time them as well as remember the right thing. You have to make sure that you hit the right buttons the same way they came out as the example shows you. It's played a bunch already, so you'll see how it's meant to play. I did get a few achievements, and here they are in succession. But I will stipulate these are one of the ones I would just come back to when my brain is not a paste. I think I did okay this time. Now probably the most painful part of all of this area. The races. Now I will say I did complete every single small race achievement. And I'm very proud of that because some of them you needed to play this perfect. But I only realized after I completed all of these and took that sigh of relief that I was still missing some achievements. Then I turned around and saw there was a big course that was available that was like triple the size. And I attempted them, I got some of the achievements, and then I just went crazy and had enough. I then returned a few days later to try some more and went crazy again and decided that this is one of those things I will do at a later stage because right now I was going insane. but I want to run you through each of these races and what I needed to do. The Racing Strider is literally just a Strider. The Rocketeer is a rocket bike. The Wanderluster is a heavy machine, and the Powermonger is just a big goblin machine thing. It's all cool. I like them all. It's just they all do different things and they interact with the course differently. And throughout the races you'll see that I did eventually get them, but there's hours of footage of me failing and needing to have a break at some stages. I'm not even close to doing any of the rep stuff, and this gave me a taste of what the grind felt like. It was fun in the end. I'm very proud of myself for getting what I got, but I will definitely take some time another day to try and crush it. Here are the basic rules of the race themselves. The time frames are called tolls. It's just a time frame. Once you hit a certain amount of tolls, the achievement is no longer unlockable. You have to try again. The number was 11. Doing the race the first few times, you might be able to get 13 or 12. Feel pretty good about yourself. Getting 11 is really difficult. You have to play it perfect. No matter what vehicle you're running, it's all the same. You have to hit the first checkpoint quickly. I believe it's before 5, but don't quote me on that, just watch the race. When you hit a checkpoint, it will automatically turn you onto the next toll no matter what. So you want to hit it just before a toll bells. That's the key of these races. Hit the checkpoints as fast as you can without turning those tolls over as it tolls, because that'll be a double count and you'll ruin your race and you will get burnt out by the end. Here is the gold, and yeah, if I had the mic on at the time you would have heard me shouting enjoy. Enjoy this one. So that was the Wanderluster, the plain version. Probably the easier one out of all of them because you can glide over most gates, you can avoid the enemies and also the traps. So it was pretty easy in the end. Next up is the Roadhog. That is much harder.
I need it.
The final one I'll show you is the Power Monger. Unfortunately, for some reason, might have been the smooth brain at the time, I didn't record one of the vehicles, which is really annoying because it was one of the harder ones to do, but hey, we all make mistakes and apparently I make a lot of them. Here is the Power Monger.
I need to target something.
So yes, you may be sitting there going, Mert, mate, they're just races. You gotta do it. It's easy. Well, you may be right there, but it hurt my brain, but we did it. We got there in the end. We completed the races. Now, before we end the video, we have but a few more achievements to run off the list. We also had to make sure we ate everything. I just bought everything from the vendors, right-clicked, moved forward one step until we got there.
Careful.
We also got the achievement for flying a very long way in one of the big races.
I need a target.
We made sure that we rode a pony. I did 5 Darkmoon games as well.
Oh.
And 5 dailies.
Watch your back.
And I also got another achievement I did not expect to get today. Can you guess what it was? That's right. I fell. And I didn't die this time. How good. How wonderful. I actually did it. And now it is time for us to have a look at our achievement journal so far. As I said earlier, there are certain achievements I will not look at right now. Anything to do with rep, anything to do with groups, anything to do with my brain melting, which, yeah, you'll see a few are missing. That's fine. But I will be back to do them again. Before we continue, I want to quickly talk about one thing that I have neglected, but a few people have talked about, and that's Chromie time. Before doing this series, I actually had no idea what Chromie actually did, apart from move you to TBC, to Legion, to Mists, through the expansions. Chromie time is Blizzard's system that lets you pick the expansion you want to level through, but at your own pace. And that's the thing I missed. Level at your own pace. So, I went and spoke to Chromie in Stormwind, and I chose the Cataclassic zones. The reason why? Well, simple, it changes all of my zones from being capped out at 35, which they currently are, and where I one-shot everything, and now they scale at my level. Now that I've done Chromie, and all of the zones have changed, as you can see on this map, you'll notice something else has changed as well. And that's our pet battles. Now, I will go on about the pet battles a bit later in the video, due to the fact that I've already said that I'm going to do as many pet battles as I possibly can throughout these zones, and a lot of people love the pet battle aspects. So at the end of Swamp of Sorrows, I am going to take my time and we are going to go through all of the pet battles we need to we'll talk about everything we need to get through there. So don't you worry, pet battlers. I've got you. I have got you. After our brief filler episode in the Darkmoon Faire, where we knocked out over 50% of the achievements they had to offer, it's time to get back to our regularly scheduled program. A quick recap for those playing at home. We've already conquered Westfall, Duskwood, Redridge Mountains, and both halves of Stranglethorn Vale. So naturally, looking at this map, the next step is to go across to the other side, Swamp of Sorrows. But wait, I hear you say already, Mert. If we go straight to the Swamp of Sorrows, won't we miss Deadwind Pass? Well, my child, you would be correct. But here's the thing. We're skipping that place, and why? Simple. There's nothing there. Unless you count Karazhan, which I will not be attempting just yet. Not attempting, Mert, I hear you say again? That, my child, is also correct. Karazhan is one of World of Warcraft's most iconic raid dungeons. A giant, haunted tower stuffed with magic, ghosts, cursed parties, and some of the strangest boss fights Blizzard's ever made. Any raid like this, I'll tackle either when I'm overleveled, or I'll get a group to do it with me. In all honesty, I want to do Karazhan, but I think it deserves either its own video, or I make a video about all the raids. I don't want to just blast through it today. So, we will definitely grab the exploration achievement for Deadwind Pass, and then we'll move on to Swamp of Sorrows. Swamp of Sorrows. The name alone tells you exactly what you're in for. Foggy air, twisted trees, and more swamp water than anyone in Azeroth could ever ask for. This place is home to crocolids the size of small houses, Naga that don't really want you around, and lots of goblins. It's also where the Alliance and the Horde butt heads over Stonard, where the quest givers seem to have a mild obsession with sending you to kill some wildlife. It's murky and it's messy, but it's going to be my murky mess for the next little while, so let's wade in to the Swamp of Sorrows. So the first run-in ended up in the Shifting Mire section, which is a dangerous marshy area in Swamp of Sorrows. We come across a whole bunch of other Draenei, which I think is the first Draenei I've seen so far in this little adventure we've taken. We're here to deal with the Lost Ones. One of our people are in trouble, and we need to see what is going on. The Lost Ones are a tribe of broken, mutated Draenei who have descended into madness and corruption. Essentially, we're going to kill some stuff, pick up old roots, and also kill some more stuff. One thing you may have noticed while you've seen me kill stuff is I have actually changed the way I'm playing. That's right, I'm now running a tank, the Brewmaster. I just wanted to try it, and I think it's quite cool. Surviving is so much easier, and it allows me to actually enjoy the fights because we're in Chromie time as well. So I'm going to stick with this for now. We have also encountered one more thing. Because I've changed everything with Chromie time, the pet battles are terrifying. Like I said, I will address this later, but for now, we had to run away. So a tactical retreat was made, we killed some more stuff, we did some more quests, and eventually we did this little role play here. I even knelt to feel part of it. Essentially, we helped one of our guys go back to the light because he was dying. And it felt nice to do something nice for someone. we completed the little achievement there, and off we go to our next quest area. We then moved all the way on to the middle of the map. It was kind of weird. It's to do with the swamp being a corruption zone. It really just feels like Alliance versus Horde battling over nothing. And that's kind of what it was. You had to kill a bunch of those guys, then you had to kill a bunch more things. Pick up some other stuff, you know how it goes with these sorts of areas. There wasn't much storytelling going on apart from the fact that the Horde and the Alliance were versing each other over what seemed like an endless battlefield of nothingness. But hey, I got an item at the end, I got a nice new weapon.
Farewell.
And then it was time to move on to the north, where we have some of my favourite people, the goblins. The next part of our adventure takes us to Bog Paddle, which is a little goblin town in the northern edge of the swamp, and it really serves as the comedy relief of this area, which I like because, well, it's the most fun part. It's all about wild inventions and questionable business practices, which I'm all about. First, you meet Sassy Hardwrench and a few other goblins running their profitable enterprises in the swamp. Their business model? It's a mix of science and danger. Think rockets and chemicals mixed with a whole bunch of don't stand there. You get roped into testing out their latest contraption, which is just blowing up stuff, chemical cocktails, and a whole bunch of rockets. Eventually, you go to this little town that's outside of Bog Paddle, get blasted through to a pirate ship, kill a whole bunch of dudes in there, pick up a bunch of stuff, fly all the way back, and that's it. That's all she wrote. It's actually really fun. It really serves as the comedy relief of this area because there's no war and corruption, it's just goofy. And I like it because it just breaks down the seriousness of all the swamp and you just get to relax. Now, onto the final area. And while traveling to this final area, of course, we got the exploration achievement. Don't forget, team, this is about achievements. I'm just telling a story along the way. And for the final section of the Swamp of Sorrows is probably the reason why the Swamp of Sorrows is what it is, the Sunken Temple. Or officially, it is called the Temple of Altaholic. It's just one of those massive half-submerged troll ruin temple things. It's really cool. It's just one of those zones you kind of go into, finish the quest and leave without actually paying attention. So essentially, a long time ago, the trolls tried to summon Hakar into Azeroth, and their main temple was in Zul'Gurub. But the Swamp of Sorrows temple was also one of the strongholds. So essentially, it's got a whole bunch of heebie-jeebies there, and everyone's trying to stop it. Both the Horde and Alliance are asking you to investigate the Altaholic presence in the swamp, which is why everything's terrible. And you're essentially going in there, bunch of Naga and dudes around, the Hakar's influence is returning, but in the end you just kill everyone. You go back to the guy at the start and you say, hey, I killed everyone, I'm amazing.
Remain in service to the Green Dragonflight. Do not sleep on the job, unless I have explicitly asked you to do so.
Because we're the main character, and we don't die to trash. Alrighty, let us talk about pets. Now, I have been trying to get as many pets as possible, but you would have seen in Swamp of Sorrows, I didn't get any. That's because they were grossly out-leveled, and I actually needed to get back to the old leveling. So, I did a simple thing. Got a few add-ons. That's right, we got a few add-ons to help us. Pet Tracker Broker, Rarity, and Titan Panel. They all work together to make sure that you can actually find every single pet in the area and at what rarity level as well. Then I went to every single area and I farmed the rest of the pets. There was a few cool things that I found along the way. For instance, Elwyn Forest has a crazy cat lady that you can buy 4 cats from, and there's a cat just outside her house as well. That was really cool. I then went to Westfall and Duskwood. I had a look at Redridge, but it looks like I had everything, so I didn't need to go there any further. But then I started noticing something. There were other pets in these areas that I couldn't actually get yet because of archaeology. Now, archaeology is a weird thing. I need to level it up, and it's going to be a progressive thing. So any area that I'm in, I'm just going to do archaeology there as well. As you can see here, this is what I did. I did some archaeology right at the end of all of my Pokemon training, and I found a doll worth of gold, which is ridiculous for my time spent, but that looks like it's going to be fun. I also noticed in Stranglethorn Vale, there was definitely a few pets that were grindy. So I haven't actually done them yet. I will return when I can stop doing chromie time, because it looks like the mobs you need to farm don't actually drop stuff when you're in chromie time. So I'll research that a bit better for the raptor and for the bird. But apart from that, we're doing okay. In Stranglethorn Vale as well, I did a little bit of training. I caught a few Pokemon, and then we moved to Swamp of Sorrows. Once there, everything was grossly outleveled. So I needed to find a way to capture and then move up from there. The first fight we went about, I almost lost, but I did actually capture the pet, and that helped us carry through to the next few captures as well. I definitely spent a lot of time in this area, and there is one of those grindy Pokemon as well, but it looks like I can't actually get the item dropping yet, so it might need to be one of those chromie time events as well. I beat the trainer in Swamp of Sorrows. And all in all, we're leveled up. We've got every pet possible in these areas, and I will keep doing archaeology as well. As for the grindy ones, I might do an entire video on Eastern Kingdoms grinding out all of the pets, because that's gonna take a while, and I'd rather do it when I can one-shot enemies. All in all, it was a good time. I enjoyed myself, the Pokemon grind is great, and I'm up to date to move to our next area. But that will be in the next video. Now, before we finish up the video, there's two things I want to talk about. The first one is this free t-shirt day. I'm glad I jumped onto it when I did, because it was kind of cool. This person walks around yelling out free t-shirts, and they're shooting t-shirts all over the ground. You run around, you pick them up, and there you go, some transmog for yourself. I genuinely really enjoyed this. I thought it was a cool little thing to add to the game, and I got a bunch of t-shirts. I actually was trying to sell them on the auction house because you can't vendor them, and ended up getting an achievement. So that was kind of cool. Didn't expect that, but we got it. And I also got a title too, but for some reason I don't have any titles. Tell me what that's about, game. And now we are to step into one of the most cursed, chaotic, and demon-infested zones in the Eastern Kingdoms. The Blasted Lands. The Blasted Lands is a scorched, barren zone just beyond the Swamp of Sorrows, forever changed by the explosion of the Dark Portal. Once it was a fertile world, and now it's devastated when the portal first opened, leaving behind a wasteland crawling with demons, mutated wildlife, and remnants of the Burning Legion's corruptions. It's one of the most famous zones in all of Azeroth, because it houses the Dark Portal itself, the gateway between Azeroth and the Outland, the first expansion, making it one of the most iconic zones in Warcraft history. So of course, off we go. We head down and see a big fort in front of us. As I head there, something, as it always does, distracts me. Of course, we begin the pet battles. Now, of course, I'm not going to do every single pet battle like this. There's always that little fun thing to start us off. But the cool thing about this one is I leveled at the end of it. Level 49. Many more to go. The first part of this story starts with Razalik. What? Potentially didn't pronounce that correctly, but hey, this is my channel, not yours. Razalik it is. What the f- Razalik is a powerful Doomguard, still scheming in Blasted Lands. We slowly dismantle his plans, step by step, cutting down his lieutenants, disrupting his rituals, and eventually confronting him directly. This is a classic demon warlord arc and a reminder that the Burning Legion always leaves a shadow behind. So we fly our way over to Netherguard Keep, where the mages and soldiers are doing their best to hold the line. We get sent out to do, of course, what I hate to do, kill more orcs.
More work?
We must defend ourselves and our line against the orcs because they're the main enemy, of course, not all of the demons. Once we get back, we hand in our quests and ho ho ho, a ding.
Life bless you. Greetings. For the Alliance.
Another level! This bodes well for our future. We then head off to kill all of the corrupt beasts in the land. It takes some time, but of course it takes time because I'm doing something else that is very important. Of course, that is skinning. And you can't forget the whole point of us being here is for achievements. So of course, the next step is get distracted again. No, don't worry, I told you I wouldn't do that again. Just a little bit of bait for you. We then head to this tunnel where we find this gentleman. I can't remember exactly what he does, but he loves a ritual or two. So we clear out his tunnel of doom. And we do a bunch of fetch quests. We head on down to the portal itself and do a few more killing quests because we hate demons and we hate lieutenants of course, Razalik. I think we resurrect Lorimus or something, I don't quite understand it, but we've got this guy back in our little tunnel camp. But honestly, not for long, because, well, the fight with Razalik isn't as amazing and easy as you once hoped. Poor Lorimus, I think his name was.
Remember the lessons of the past.
The next part of this journey we have upon us, it takes us down to some Murlocs. But we are not to kill these Murlocs this time. No, no, no. We are here to help them. You heard me correctly, everyone. We're helping the people. And no, I didn't soundbite that sound. I made it myself. I told you I wasn't lying when I made that sound. I can make that sound all by myself. Alright, put it in. Alright, moving on from that embarrassment, we are doing Avenging the Rockpool next. Like I said, it takes us to a peaceful group of Rockpool Murlocs. And they have been slaughtered by their Naga rivals, the Bloodwash. We're tasked with avenging them. It involves killing people. Well, Naga, they're not people. Naga are not people. Deal with it. Striking the Naga, freeing captives, destroying token thingies, and restoring the balance to the shoreline. In short, it's tragic, and it adds depth to the Naga menace along the coast. We end up dragging this chest thing full of rockpool babies out to the ocean where they can be saved forever. And then we finished that storyline. I kind of wish it was longer. It was kind of cool. I won't lie. I like helping the people. So the third and final part of this area is the Tainted Forest. It is in complete contrast of the rest of the area and probably my favorite area out of all of the Eastern Kingdoms so far. It's weird, it's dark, it's eerie, and strangely green compared to the rest of the Blasted Lands. Don't be fooled. Despite its greenery, it is not a place to live. It is a place of corruption. When the Dark Portal first opened and the war was raging, this is one of the heavily affected areas. But the unnatural vegetation was sustained by the fell energies, which the infernals bombarding falling from the skies would have affected at the time. The human settlement of Surwich was set here after the cataclysm. They're a part of the wolf people, the Gilnean survivors, and they're trying to figure out what the heck they're meant to be doing here. Everything's poisoned. Just run away.
I'm out.
But the really cool thing I like about this area is it's only a few quests. These quests are gathering quests mainly, killing quests, but they're all linked. Unlike other quests where it feels like you're just doing stuff, this has somewhat of a story. You start off with killing a bunch of demons, twisted trees and the like to clear the area. And then you kill heaps of beasts. But killing these beasts lets you get a special item. You essentially kill a whole bunch of them, smush up their organs and create a pouch of demonic energy. To essentially break the chains of the big boss guy in this area and then kill him. It feels pretty basic at the time, but I really like it. It feels like a really good story and a good flow-on effect from the rest of the area being demonically messed up. But I don't think I've seen a demonically messed up place that's overgrown like this. I'm a big fan of it. And with handing in this final quest, we have completed what this video is about. The achievements required to move on to the next zone.
We've been walled up for far too long.
We have obviously done the quests, and now we have completed the exploration. Heading into this zone, I didn't quite know what to expect. I just expected to play it, be gone with it, and be happy it was over. I really enjoyed it, and I'm glad that I did this zone slowly and with a purpose. Now, a little bit different than what I usually do, I'm not going to hand over to live Mert.
What did he say?
Because I've been playing this character a little bit. It's time for a few personal announcements. Personal announcements, I swear it's not bad. Well, I have been streaming, if a few of you haven't noticed. I am on YouTube and on Twitch at the same time, and I announce everything on my Discord at the moment. And with the Twitch and YouTube, the streams have been about 2 hours long. It's been on Prometheus, and it's been a lot of fun. I did try and do a solo run of one of the raid dungeons. Didn't go very well for me, but I learned a lot about a monk and how to mitigate damage really well. So hey, I might try it again if I hit a milestone. Oh, what was that boss, man? That was rough. It was so rough. Thank you, everyone. Hey, thank you. Sash. Work. Cherish is following. Thank you for the follow. That was... It's worth the follow then. Oh my lord, that sucked. That was the What is this thing? I also have done a few more areas as well, so those videos will actually come out sooner than you think. No more 2-week waits for videos. I'll try and get them out weekly from now on. Now, before closing off this episode with all that information, I have more to provide. That's right, more. No, it's just simple stuff like doing basic things in Stormwind, like the fishing quests. I'm actually going to do fishing dailies so that I can get that achievement done. I mean, why haven't I previously? Like the Darkmoon Faire festival, I need to focus on seasonal events as well. Dragon racing is one of them. Something I kind of stopped myself from doing, but now I want to just do it. And I'm going to go through each zone. But I did the Elwyn Forest one in one of my streams. Here it is. Let's try it. I could do it. Oh, I can't see. Oh, I can't see. Okay then. Maybe I need to be first person here. There we go. There we go. All right. Since doing the Darkmoon Faire races, I feel immune to any stress with flying and stuff. At least this tells me where to go next. Oh! Whoa! I did it. Oh no! Oh, tree branches are the worst. I did silver. Terrible. I got gold! And I found that was actually really fun to do, especially with people in chat. Much like the Darkmoon Faire event, we're going to do a calendar event, and that is the Eastern Kingdoms Cup. I'm going to do something that I didn't think I would do until Dragonflight, but it's available now, and I just want to do it, and that is skywriting. Now we're changing the video formula a little bit today, and I'm going to provide you with some tips and tricks on skywriting. The first basic one is if you think you've lost skywriting and it reverts you back to the original flight style, just go to your mounts tab with the Shift P, click your mounts, and then up the top you'll find switch flight style, as you can see here. That can swap it back. There's different reasons to use different flight styles. If you're hovering over a rare, I suggest using the original one, but if you want to cover long distances or just go fast, then you have to use skywriting. Basically, you only need two abilities when skywriting. You need Surge Forward on your taskbar, and well, that's kind of it, but you can also put Second Wind on there to give you some more traction. Now the reason why I say you only need those two is for Skyward Ascent, which is the one that flaps your wings upwards, you can just press the jump key twice. It's really surprising at how many people don't know how to do that, but just press that button. There's also some more advanced ones, Whirling Surge and Lightning Rush. You can use those if you wish, but they're not required, especially for these races. And I personally think it's a waste of time, just use Surge Forward. Now, really basic tips here for you. When you're on top of a mountain or a cliff or anything, don't jump up with Skyward Ascent. Just run off the edge. It saves you a whole pip of vigor, and it's honestly faster to just run off the edge and then surge forward. I want to teach you another trick, and that is the flick upwards when using Skyward Ascent, or some people call it the Skyward Flick. This one is great for gathering more distance and also gaining vigor while you're doing it. So instead of just double tapping space once you're in the air already, you can flick your mouse upwards while holding right click, and you will gain a little bit more momentum. And you'll see me do it a few times here. You can see it gets you further than just double tapping space twice, and also it'll get you blue, which means you have Thrill of the Skies active, so you're going to start getting vigor back. This is really good for when you're down low, you have all your vigor, and you need to get up high quick or travel a long distance. I suggest doing this a whole bunch, and you'll get really high, and then you'll eventually gain enough Thrill of Skies to then surge forward a bunch. So these are some basic tips that a lot of people don't really talk about, or it's just assumed that you know. But I wanted to make a video to actually explain these to you so that you can get better at flying yourself and you're not finding yourself halfway up a mountain waiting for 3 minutes to get your vigor back. Now I want to talk about the Sky Riding Cup. I recently accomplished this, and I accomplished it on gold. It's much like the leveling achievements. As you go up to your next level and you get it, it'll tell you, hey, there's a silver one available. Well, I got all of them, and it's a lot easier than you think. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have them run in the background as I ramble on about how hard they are or how easy they are, and you'll be able to see my attempts at them all as well. There are a few I didn't film because I was a bit of a goose, but I managed to get all of them done, and well, you can see that by my achievements. They were fairly easy and only took me a few hours, so if you want to give it a crack yourself, I suggest doing so. There are some really basic tips I will give you before I go on about the dragon riding themselves, and they are these. Only use Surge Forward. Unless you have to get off the ground at the start of the race, I don't see any point with doing anything else than Surge Forward. I've done everything else, I've tried them all. Surge Forward is the only one to really use at any time. Anyone else that tells you differently is trying too hard. When you're doing the skywriting, I prefer to do it in first person. It's much easier to go through the hard, narrow angles and you miss tree branches and stuff. You can react a lot faster, and I find that it's just a bit harder to control them in third person, so I would just always go first. There are a few cons to first, but once you figure them out, it's pretty easy to overcome. When you're in first person, it's easy to forget that you're riding something. So you're higher than you actually should be. Meaning, if you were to go over something like a branch, you'll catch it quickly. Do your best to touch the top of the rings. You'll see in a few of these races, I aim for the top of most rings, and whenever there is a branch or something, I'll just swing to avoid it and then quickly flick myself back to where I was. In these later races as well, there's a lot of obstacles to avoid. Big purple spheres and fire flying up through the air. Just dodge them. If you get hit, you'll slow down a little bit. In one of the races I got gold in, I got hit, but it doesn't really matter. Just do your best to flick around it. If you're in first person, the reaction time's a lot better. You'll be able to accomplish that a lot faster than you think. These races in all are fun, but I am glad that they only come like once or twice a year per zone, because I would not do them again. The thing I do like about this is there's more content per zone. It gives you more things to do, and it gives you a reason to travel to each expansion, which I really enjoy as someone doing this challenge, going through different expansions and doing different achievements. It gives me a chance to appreciate different zones, like the Arathi Highlands, all over again. Each time they're doing these events, it also seems like they are adding new items to get as well. The Sky Master's Silver Tabard, Mantle and Cloak, as well as the Crown, Shoulder Guards and Epaulets are also things that have been added this year, which I really like. I think that's cool that they're adding new things. I personally foregoed those and I went straight towards the other things, which I think are cooler, like the Drake Racer's outfit. Now I do understand I don't have these shoulders. It required me to go to Dragonflight content, which I have not unlocked yet. So our boy Prometheus could not get the shoulders today. You can use your ults though, so if you're an Altaholic like me, you can just grab your ults, jump on those races, and complete them again, if you dare. I do not dare. I will not do it again. There are 14 races total, and with the 3 different variants, 42 races that you have to get gold in. Each race, roughly, goes for about a minute and a half max, and they're all fairly simple. Once you get a hang of a few of them, you will start to steamroll, and the longest thing you'll do is travel between them. So keep that in mind when you're thinking of doing this challenge. It doesn't take too long, you just have to get good at something before you start smashing it. My favorite out of all of these would have to probably be either the Booty Bay one or the Gilnea's Gambit one. I'll play that one at the end because that's where I got the achievement, and for those suckers who like watching the entire race, I'll make it go at normal pace for you all. So everyone else that hates the normal pace, it's fine to end the video there. The one that I had the most trouble in though was the Krasworks Clash in Twilight Highlands. Reasoning is there's zeppelins everywhere and they move kind of little bits, and I just kept getting stuck on things like pole, kept landing on poles. Why would you have the pole there? Well, to stop me, obviously. So that is one I didn't really like, but they're all really okay, they're fun. Just dodge stuff as it comes at you, like I said before. One thing I will add before moving on to the final races is you have a item that is on your right hand side in your quests, and it is a pocket watch. If you end up making a mistake and you end up on the ground or messing up, just press that to go back to the start of the race. Don't wait for them to teleport you back, because you don't have to talk to anyone, it just starts again. And now we're on to the final race where I get my achievements. Enjoy these. I did them pretty well. time to head north into the most iconic fiery zones in WoW's history, the Burning Steppes. Now, the Burning Steppes is exactly what you think it is. A land of ash, fire and lava, caught in the middle of endless conflict. On one side, you've got the Black Rock Orcs. We've encountered those before, and still clinging to power in the shadows of the Black Rock Mountain itself. On the other side, we have the Dark Iron Dwarves. They are always scheming and drawing strength from the fiery corruption of Ragnaros. Lurking above it all as well is the Black Dragonflight, who caused the issues in this region in the first place. The quests here are split between taking down the Black Rock clan, disrupting the Dark Iron plans, and uncovering the dragon threat, all while slowly working your way towards that terrifying mountain. And speaking of the mountain, it has some of the coolest raids and dungeons. The Lower Blackrock Spire, Upper Blackrock Spire, and Blackrock Depths. Even MC, the Molten Core, the game's first ever raid. Don't worry, I won't be charging in just yet, but if you watched my live stream that's still on my YouTube channel, you can see I attempted it all by myself. I nearly got there too, but I had to stop. But you can bet I will smash all of these later on in our journey. The Burning Steppes may be harsh, and it's a major step in our Eastern Kingdoms adventure. I really saw this as sort of the divide between stuff that I've done before and new stuff. So let's dive in, see if I can survive the heat. Whenever I start any new area, I always get really distracted with what's going on around me. It looks really nice, but you know that pretty green little claw on my map always takes me away. I always have to do pet battles. So I capture a few. And then we find this guy, our challenger. We haven't had one of these for a while, so let's get ready for a fight. It was an extremely tight bout, but we made it. Unscathed, I would say. Not really, but we got out, and that's a good thing. As Celebration decided to kill a bunch of baby dragons, we defeated Nergosh the Shadow, and handing in that quest got us to level 60.
Keep it real. Have a good one. Keep it real.
And then we got to probably the best part of this area, and that was looking like this cool dude. You had to go undercover Black Rock clan and make sure you could disable the clan within itself. And it was a really cool storyline. I encourage you to go through it and really pay attention to it. It eventually led to our favorite shirtless people and the group that helped us with the tank in our Redridge Mountains display, which is really cool. I like how it all came together and everyone was working together and it was cool. There were no tanks this time, which is sad. We then just spent a bunch of time helping Shirtless Man and co. And that was fine. It was a fine storyline. It was all good. And then we had to ride a dragon. And this is my gripe with classic quests. we always hit a point where we have to do these vehicle quests and press the same button to shoot a whole bunch of enemies like in Exile's Reach, and it's just not fun. I don't like it. I don't enjoy it. It reminds me of the shelf mission in Burning Crusade, where you just have to shoot a bunch of stuff, and if you don't make it, don't kill them all within that time frame, you got to go back and do it again. It just wastes time. So, not a fan of this particular mission. But at the end, we complete all of the story, bring back peace and prosperity. No, we don't do any of that. We just make sure no one dies a lot and no one takes claim over the mountain. That was the key objective in all of these quests. Don't let them take over the mountain. And we did that, and I'm proud of us. In the end, we get the quest achievement. Hey, we did it. Achievement. Cue the zoom in. Cue the zoom in. We get the exploration achievement. And it's on to our next place. And yes, your astute eyes do not deceive you. I did stream this. That's on Twitch and YouTube. Links down below. And the next zone, of course, we are going to go into is Searing Gorge. The only way to describe the Searing Gorge is it is the Burning Steppes' angry little brother. And I think I said that when we entered the zone as well. It's tiny compared to the other zones. It is yet another scorched wasteland right on the edge of the Black Rock Mountain. But here, the focus shifts heavily to the Dark Iron Dwarves, which I really enjoyed. Literally, there's a mountain dividing the orcs and the dwarves, and they're all angry about it. This zone is their playground, their forge and their battlefield, so the quests here are pretty cool. They take you into the Thorium Brotherhood versus the Dark Iron Dwarves. You'll sneak into their factories, sabotage their war machines and free captured allies. Essentially, it's just a gritty industrial feel with lava pits. I liked it. One of the coolest parts of the zone is obviously it's all connected to the Burning Steppes via the giant mountain. I cannot wait to get into the actual mountain itself, do all the raids and all of the dungeons, because I think that it will tie the story really well together. But all in all, great area, and I really enjoyed it. Honestly, with this area, there's not a whole heap to say about how the quests are. You run around, you just do a bunch of dwarfy things. So kill a bunch of golems, get a bunch of items. There is honestly, probably the best part of all of this is Lunk. He's our boy. We love Lunk. He's just Lunky. He does weird things like ride spiders and eat random things, but overall, Lunk, best part of this area by far. Also managed to get probably my favorite pet so far, and that's like a molten hatchling. It's just a fire spider. Very cool. Very cool. We end up graduating from Thorium Shack Place to Thorium Point, which is just a big tower. So that's cool. The whole gist of this storyline is make the Thorium boys win over the other Dark Iron Dwarfs. So we do those quests. We find this guy, another pet battle. I like it. I like the fight. This guy didn't put up nearly as much fight as the previous guys. I think I learnt my lesson with the last guys. But yeah, he's toast. See you later, big fella. It took us approximately like 30 minutes to complete this quest. Probably 10. But there was a lot of flying around looking for these molten boys. Looking at these little fire elementals. But we found them and managed to get that done. And we ran around and we lit a bunch of towers on fire for the Dark Iron Dwarves and stole a lot of their bullets. So, you know, they couldn't get us. I liked it. It was good. One of the things we spoke about, and there's a question for all of you right now. Do you read quest text? A lot of people in my chat at the time said how much they enjoyed reading the quest text. They get into it, it's a real part of the story, and they slow down and enjoy the whole ride. Personally hate it. Just get through it. Get through to the next area is how I've always mentally prepared myself for these sorts of things. But this helicopter quest, you needed to listen and go and find a random person and then enter in the helicopter. There was nothing on my map that told me. There was no instant quest text. I had to read it. And it drives me nuts. But everyone in my chat was like, nah, just read the quest text, Matt. So that's my question. Do you read it? Or are you like me and you just follow little things on the map? And then finally, we ended up going to this big fella, the Archduke Celcinder. And we banished him. See you later. And of course, we have achieved our exploration. I didn't actually get the video of this. I'm very sorry. And the quests of Searing Gorge.
Off with you.
Hey! Woo! Woo! I'm gonna zoom in on me in the video and how much of an idiot I am. Don't worry. With our two super serious Orc vs. Dwarves, big mountain, scary lava zones done, I was hoping for a change of pace. I'm a guy that can only take so much serious before he gets bored and tired and wants something silly and fun. Well, I'm glad that our next area was exactly that. The Badlands is exactly what it sounds like. It's a land full of bad stuff. It's just a cracked desert, wasteland full of danger, mystery, and some of the strangest stories in all of WoW. Unlike the lava and forges of the Gorge, the land here is dry, broken, and hiding plenty of secrets. There's 3 main quest lines here, but in this recap I just want to focus on one. It is one of the most famous quest lines in the whole game, and I've honestly never done it before, so this was really cool. The day that Deathwing came. It's just 3 dudes walk into a bar, start drinking, and tell the same story multiple times, and it is wonderful. Despite me getting stuck on one of them and having to look up a fix because it's a complete bug, don't worry about that. All in all, it's amazing. Their stories are pure chaos, explosions, and just silly goofiness that I really enjoyed. So, without further ado, let us get into the Badlands and enjoy the lighter side of the Cataclysm. So the start of these quest lines just start with 3 guys sitting in a circle talking about the day that Deathwing came. You decide to talk to one of them, which is the dwarf at the start, and he shows you how he goes through all of the enemies and elementals to get to Deathwing and then beats him up himself. What a hero indeed! The next guy is a gnome inventor and he makes himself gigantic. Finds Deathwing within the sun itself, grabs him and throws him all the way to Kalimdor. What a cool dude, what a hero. The third is an absolute rock star. An orc riding a bike and you're on the back. He has to pick his favorite babe to go with him. Then he finds Deathwing atop a mountain. But all of the other guys are there telling their own silly stories. He gets upset, doesn't tell you how it ends. But then you finish the quest line anyway. A goofy, silly, ridiculous quest line. You gotta do it yourself. Because it's just goofy and fun. And just do it! Do it! So a few good, quick achievements that I got here. Another pet, which is always a good day. That always brings in more achievements for us. So woohoo to me. And also this goat quest. When I was looking in the Eastern Kingdoms, grouping for achievements, I found this goat quest here, and I thought it was going to be quite difficult. It's literally the quest. You do the quest and you get an achievement. I don't understand why they've done this, but I won't argue. Complete. Well done, us. We meet up with some no-mission venters as usual. We defend ourselves from some trogs with ridiculous cannons that, again, don't understand why classic missions did this, but hey, here we are, pressing the same button and holding right click to aim, and doesn't hit them properly, but yay, we did it. And then we go into this little area, this little temple, and do a bunch of puzzles, and I genuinely enjoyed it. This puzzle I figured out within about 30 seconds, but it took me about 2 minutes to actually right-click all of the things because they all had to have animations. Why, Classic Quest, do you do this to me? But we did it, and good on us for doing it, but it's still going. Anyway, we do that one. We kill one of the big boys in this room, and we get the treasure chest. In the Badlands is a really cool reference. It's the Lost Dwarves. 3 dwarves looking very similar to 3 other dwarves in a different game. Well, this game's the Lost Vikings. Blizzard's 1992 side-scrolling puzzle game. It's got Olaf, Balog, and Eric in it, and yes, it's those guys. I was blown away because I knew that they were in Uldaman, so I knew they were in the game, but it was really cool seeing them in this area and helping you through it. Their little catchphrases and abilities were all about the Lost Vikings. It was just really cool. Me being an old man, I really liked the references. So that was a really, really cool part of this. It wasn't a goofy segment like earlier, but it was still a really cool reference. And Badlands quickly becoming my favorite area. 10 out of 10. Reference more, please. Very good. The boys helped me get an achievement. And then finally, we watched this goblin get burned alive in this cave because Deathwing's a bad guy. That was it. We got our quests done. Be seeing you! And we got our exploration done. Sad to say, it's time to leave the Badlands. I really liked it here. Loch Modan. As soon as you fly or step foot into Loch Modan, you will notice one thing. At least I really hope you noticed the entire lake is missing. Please tell me you did. Before the Cataclysm, this was one of Azeroth's most beautiful zones, and early on was really nice to see. A peaceful valley with shimmering blue water and dwarven, cozy little towns. But after our dear friend Deathwing decided to play his favourite game, Punch the Planet, the stone-wrought dam was completely destroyed in all of that pristine water. Well, it was gone. Now the loch is a cracked basin, filled with mud, fish flopping around, dwarves trying to figure out how to rebuild their homes. And their pride, too. Honestly, this gives the zone a little post-flood insurance nightmare vibes, but it's gorgeous in its own sad way. Our adventure starts in Thesselmar. Thelsamar. Yeah, I'm keeping that in for the recording. Thelsamar. The main dwarven town where everyone's in panic rebuild mode. You help the engineers clean up some debris, fix some busted machinery, and fend off many angry elementals and things around the town. It's a cozy little town, and it really sells that classic "we'll fix it with beer and stubbornness" dwarf energy. So we kill all kinds of wildlife, including the people, and we end up completing that part of the quest.
See you soon. Watch your back.
Ah, dwarven stubbornness, how I love you. We then discover that, yet again, we cannot have a dwarven zone without trogs. The Cataclysm shook free a nest of trogs, and it's our turn to clean them up. Yet again, we go into full pest control mode and get rid of them. Then we complete the second part of our journey.
Watch your back.
We have a brief intermission here to go through what we love to do in this series. Another pet battle and another achievement. Oh yes, we are getting there finally. We then start to make our way to one of my favorite areas, the Fast Rider Lodge. I don't know why I like it so much. A mixture of hunters and a bunch of other people just sort of getting together and isolated from everyone else. They just want me to kill a bunch of animals, and I am all for that because I am not a druid yet. I will murder. So we complete that and get this part of the quest locked away.
Good luck, friend.
Then it's on to our final part. It's just a bunch of clearing, and it's kind of a sad area, this lost lake of swampiness. We kill a bunch of ogres and we do a few more quests, then lock it in for the end of this area.
Watch, get her back.
Loch Modan is a nice little area, but we don't want to spend too much time here, we want to move on. We get our exploration achievement, and it is time for us to move on to the Wetlands. The Wetlands is a zone that I don't particularly like. I can't put my finger onto it. During my stream, I even tried to understand why I didn't like it. I think it's because there's just nothing really here for me. There's no big monsters or anything fun. The mood is very dreary, but it's not like the undead dreary that I like. Kind of gives the aspect of, it's too wet here, I just want to go home. But we're here to do all of our quests, and let's start with Slab Chisel Survey. Now in this section of the quest, our journey starts at Dun Alguz. You help out a crew from Slab Chisel Survey. They are a group of dwarves, archaeologists even, who somehow think digging through a half-collapsed water-filled cave is a good idea. Got you clearing trogs, collecting ore, and fixing cave-ins. You know, the classic volunteer labour disguised as heroism. It's actually a fun start. Lots of dwarven banter, geology humour, and a bit of that old school help us fix what Deathwing broke energy.
Interested on the pint? Very good.
There is a theme here, building. Deathwing sucks. We then move to Menethil Harbour. Out of all of the wetlands, this is the one I remember the most, but I don't remember so much water. This poor place has been absolutely wrecked by the cataclysm, and half the harbour is underwater, like I said before. Ships are half sunk, and crabs are basically taking over. You help the survivors fight back against cursed sailors, recover some stolen goods, and even lift an ancient curse involving the Eye of Paleth, which I will admit I deleted from my inventory because I didn't know it was actually something that I needed. My bad. But I eventually fixed it. There's a lot of flavour here. Again, not one I like so much, but it's kind of cool helping this drowned town slowly get back on its feet. Flooding of Menethil complete. Then we shift gears to Swiftgear Station and Welga's Retreat. Once it's back in shape, you leave the harbour and you head inland to help out the engineers. This section is a mix of comedy and chaos, but honestly I just sort of went through it. The goblins tinkering with explosives, dwarves panicking over stolen tech. You also deal with dark iron dwarves, gnolls, and a few lingering Twilight Hammer cultists trying to cause you some trouble. My favourite part of this is like this graveyardy area. It's cool. It's cool. Or be a warrior orientation. Yes! Alright, we're getting there. One more. Wardens of the Wetland. And finally, we get to the Green Warden's Cove. Home to the mysterious Keeper of Nature. Kind of like a druid demigod who's trying to heal the wetlands from corruption. This is the best part of the zone. You end up finding off swamp creatures, Blackrock orcs, Twilight cultists, all while uncovering what's poisoning the land. It finally rents up with a battle. The dwarves have a last stand against the invading orcs. It's great. It's fun. But in the end, wrap up your quest line and you set off to the Arathi Highlands because you want to get out of there immediately. Hey, wetland quests! Yes! Get out of here. It's time to leave. I will just mention, if you are concerned in any way about what's going on with the channel or what I'm doing, please feel free to jump into our Discord. I am on it daily, talking hourly if you talk to me, and I want to be in discussion with you at all times. So please join that. Links in the description, everywhere else you find links, and I will gladly answer any questions you have. And like I'm going to say at the end of the video, I also stream 3 times a week, Twitch and YouTube. I stream because it gets me the content required for these videos. Otherwise, I'm playing video games for a really long time and my family will not talk to me. So please enjoy this video. No more distractions from me, I swear. Walking or flying into the Arathi Highlands. We're crossing the bridge at Thandol Span, leaving behind the muddy lowlands and stepping into the rolling hills, crumbly ruins, and old battlefields of Arathi Highlands. If the Wetlands was about recovery, Arathi is about legacy. This place is built on the bones of ancient kingdoms, endless wars, and one of the biggest tug-of-wars between Horde and Alliance. And there's a whole bunch of ogres who just want to be left alone, but they're dragged into it too. Our story starts at Refugee Point, the Alliance stronghold in the Highlands. Captain Niall or Niels sends us on a tour of the front lines. We fight some syndicate bandits, ogre camps, reclaim the territory that's been lost. You'll notice that this zone is quite small. There's a lot of story here, but there's not a lot of, well, quests. I liked that. It's a nice little change to the other zones. Next, we enter the heart of Arathi, the fallen city of Stormguard. We go through a mix of rescue missions, sabotage and cleanup, freeing captured soldiers, recovering relics, and reclaiming sections of the city, 1 block at a time.
Safe travels.
Oh, fashionista! Look at that! Next up is Faldir's Cove, and it's less exciting. You just go around killing a bunch of Naga, pick up a bunch of stuff, stick around these ships for a while, and end up helping everyone with what they needed. Done! Heck yeah, man. We finished the quests. We finished the exploration. Hey, we got it! It's time to move on to our next area, the Hinterlands. It's peaceful, it's scenic, it's also filled with trolls. It's about to make you do a lot of running if you didn't have flying, so I am glad I am doing it now and not back then. Our adventure, it begins in Airy Peak, home of the Wild Hammer Dwarves, a clan of tattooed, griffin-riding maniacs who decided the sky was a better home than a mountain. Just my kind of guys. These guys are pure attitude. They drink, they fly, they occasionally drop barrels of explosives on trolls just for fun. Again, my type of guys. Most of your early quests come from Griffin Master Talanax and his crew, keeping the area safe from forest trolls and protecting the griffins that are most of the animals in this area. It's really nice. It's old school Warcraft energy. Now this area is small. Again, there's not a lot here, but it's just really cool. I think it's a bit of a hidden gem because not many people like to come here. The fortress they call Jintha Olor is massive, multi-tiered troll city carved into cliffs. But you'll spend a good portion of your time here disrupting rituals, flying backwards and forwards as always, and you can stop them from summoning their ancient lower spirits for power. Lore-wise, Jintha Olor has always been one of the strongest troll bases outside of Zuluman, and these quests make you feel like you're dismantling the Empire. It's kinda cool! The best part is by the time you reach the top, you've gone from just like kill little dudes, local pest control sort of stuff, to absolutely destroying everyone, because I am Brometus. Cool zone. Highly recommend. But we've ticked it off the list. Time to move on. Cool. Yeah! We did it! Hinterlands quests. There it is. Woohoo! The next 2 zones are the best zones in the entire of Eastern Kingdoms. The best lore, the best areas, the best quests, some of the best dungeons. You cannot convince me otherwise. We're heading into the Western Plaguelands, a zone once overrun by the Scourge, now struggling to recover years after undeath, disease, and disrepair took over. It's grim and it's haunting, and it's also one of the best redemption stories in the entire game. Once upon a time, the Plaguelands were part of the rich farmlands of Lordaeron, feeding the kingdom before the Scourge wiped out everything. For years, this area was nothing but rotten ruin. But during the Cataclysm, Blizzard gave it a second life, literally. The Argent Crusades and Aryan Circle joined forces to push back the plague, purifying the land and restoring a hope to a region that was lost for generations. So your quests here are to focus on healing instead of killing. Well, there's a lot of killing and some really cool enemies. But it's for the greater good. Your first stop is Anderhall, the old breadbasket of Lordaeron, now the heart zone of conflict. Once you leave Anderhall, the tone changes from war to recovery. You'll meet Argent Crusaders, Cenarian Druids, and a few farmers just trying to bring life back. At the western edge of the zone is Caer Darrow, home to Skullomats. I have run this a bunch of times now to try and unlock some of the achievements, but that is in the next video. I'm really enjoying this area. It's awesome, it's fun, and I love it. I think it's the best. You can't convince me otherwise. Eastern Plaguelands just as good. Why don't we head there now? Done. Bingo bango. But not over here. Oh my god. Unlike its western partner, the Eastern Plaguelands is a land where battle for survival never really ended. This was the front line of the Scourge's invasion during the Third War, and it still shows. Everything here is dead, corrupted, and haunted by what it used to be. The Eastern Plaguelands is not about healing the land at all. The story here is pure survival. It's about getting through and defending what little hope remains. You see this reflected in every quest. Soldiers still fighting, farmers still hiding, and priests still praying for deliverance that might never come. The Argent Dawn are the major players here, and the first major hub in the city is Light's Hope Chapel. Now, to get here, you follow Fiona's caravan, and this just travels through the entire map, so you follow her and finish all the quests that's needed. It is the coolest part of questing here. It's probably the coolest part of the entire Eastern Kingdoms. Fiona's caravan is amazing. A moving quest hub traveling across an entire zone is so cool, and I genuinely loved every quest. You start off by helping Fiona right at the bridge between the Western and Eastern Plaguelands. Fiona's a kind-hearted traveler, trying to help people survive the Plaguelands. And as you journey with her, you pick up new companions, each with their own backstory, personality, and little side quests. And it's a really fun time. You'll help each of them find closure, fight off Scourge attacks, and even collect some supplies to help improve the caravan. By the end, this ragtag group of survivors starts to feel a little bit like a family. And it's rare in some of Azeroth's darkest zones. I love it. This entire storyline contributes heavily to the Eastern Plaguelands quest achievement, like I said earlier. It's literally all of them. When you get to the Light's Hope Chapel, that's the major hub. If you've ever played Wrath of the Lich King or Legion, you'll know this place. This same chapel later becomes the Order Hall for Paladins in Legion. Just cool. In the end of this zone, you cleanse all you need to, you get your extra quests, and this was the final stretch.
Always a pleasure. Spread the good word, eh?
I did it! I did it! I was so happy with this one. We finally have completed every quest achievement in the Eastern Kingdoms. I'm stoked. I was so happy. We have fully completed every single quest in the Eastern Kingdoms. This has netted us the Eastern Kingdoms Law Walking achievement. Originally, I thought to myself that this would be the longest part of the series. Going through every single zone, ensuring I have every single quest done, in relation to the achievements of course, and then completing whatever is left. Well, let me tell you, the quest part was the easiest thing to navigate. The rest of the challenge was a lot more nuanced and I had to think about it a lot more. So let me go through my thinking behind the rest of the achievements for Eastern Kingdoms. Exploration is obviously self-explanatory and why I have gone along with the quests and the law walking, so we won't worry about that too much. But what really caught me off guard in this challenge, what achievements belonged to what expansion? And I'll explain what that means right now. When you are looking at your achievement list, and you're looking at the Eastern Kingdoms, or the Classic, or whatever filters you have on, there will be some things that don't match in the map as they do in the achievements list. A really good example of this is some of the dungeons do not pop up in my Classic dungeon list. There's a very simple reason for this that took me a little bit of time to figure out. That's because those dungeons were redone during Cataclysm. There was some redone during Mists of Pandaria. You'll see here there's an achievement in our Classic list for pet battles within Stratholme itself. Well, my only problem with that is it requires me to leave my expansion, go to a different area or continent to then start the quest to get me to Stratholme. Well, I can't do that. I'm locked to my expansion. So you'll notice a few of these in the list will not be achievable right now. Not to say they won't be done in the future, because of course my goal is to do every single achievement, but you will see some in this list not be completed purely for the fact that I cannot complete them. Another great example of this is when you look at the Eastern Kingdoms, you can see that Relics of a Fallen Empire and Wards of the Dread Citadel are there as well. Well, Relics of the Fallen Empire expects me to head all the way to Zandalar, and as an Alliance character, a very difficult thing to do, especially when you haven't done any quests in that expansion. Wards of the Dread Citadel are exactly the same. Okay, I did the first part of the mission, which requires me to actually go to Scholomance, the old version, which was hard to unlock, and then you expect me to go to Next Remus, which is not in the Classic areas as well. So, as you can see, there are a few things that we have to watch out for here, and we'll explain while some of the list is not fully complete, because I can't actually get there. Stratholme, you will see that there is a feat of strength for the Death Charger's Reigns. I have tried to do this. I think I've run it about 30 to 40 times. Haven't got the reins yet. This is something that will just take time. So I will get it done, but it is not needed for this expansion's completion because it is a feat of strength. Finally, there is one quest that I will not do on this character in this video because it is just not possible. And that is Insane in the Membrane. I can't do it on this character, it's not possible, and that's purely because I've already sort of soft locked myself. I won't be able to get the Goblin rep back because I've already completed a bunch of the quests due to the Eastern Kingdoms challenge, so another character will be completing Insane in the Membrane. So I hope that this explanation and these few minutes of trying to get it through my own head out to all of you makes sense. I have done a lot of thinking, a lot of Googling, a lot of brainstorm, a lot of research, a lot of wowhead to get to the point that I'm at. I understand that there are some things that I just cannot do right now, but I will get done eventually. So what does that mean for the future characters? Well, very simply, once we unlock the next expansion that requires this, such as BFA, our friend Prometheus will travel to that destination and complete that quest for us. We're only locked for the expansion that we're currently in. Right now is Classic. I can only do Classic, but once I unlock BFA, I can do BFA content with Prometheus if it's in regards to an Eastern Kingdoms challenge. It's all confusing, but it's all self-imposed rules that I think is really fun. This is the way I want to play the game. I like thinking about it a bit extra. I like putting rules in to make it sort of concise and fun, and this is the way I'm playing. Without further ado, let us get into the end of this challenge and every single achievement that I completed. I want to explain them all to you right now. Roll the... I don't have an intro, but let's go. So let us go all the way back to the start of the video where I talked about exploration. It's something I very basically did when I did every single quest. I make sure I fly around. And when you saw the quest videos, you would have seen that in those zones, I completed all of the exploration. It's not really hard, but what you didn't know or didn't see is there's other zones that require exploration. And hopefully, I'm clever enough to have put them in the background now, and you could be seeing these explorations. I've done them all, they're all ticked off, tick, and we've even gotten that extra achievement that tells us we've done it all. Alright, on to next on the list. When it comes to the exploration of the entire continent, another part is the pets. Or, more specifically, to all the squirrels I've loved before. It's where you have to run around and love all the pets. Well, I've done this, but there's something you need to know about it. As you would see in this footage, some of it is actually in Kalimdor. It was only the Barrens, so I only had to do a little hop skip, but I did technically leave. So yes, you can have a go at me in the comments. Tell me I'm a terrible person and need to start this all again. I will never, but you can tell me that. Comments are always good. Alright. Next, let's do some more pet stuff. So, in regards to pets, Eastern Kingdoms Safari. Catch every battle pet in Eastern Kingdoms. Well, let me tell you one thing. Some of these, I can't do. The Restless Shadeling, I will do when I'm awake at 12 AM in the morning. But the Undercity Rat, I need a Horde character for it. I can't do it without. And the Seagull doesn't spawn in Stormwind anymore. So I need to find that elsewhere. I've done everything else as you can see, but I am missing one, and it won't change for a while. So we'll have to call this one not complete, unfortunately. But as you can see here in this list, I'll throw up all the ones I have completed for pet battles. I think I did a really good job. I'm really happy with where it's gone and how well I've done pet battles, and some of my pets are doing great. So, you know, whatever, that's fun. Next on the list, let's talk about one thing that I probably should not have done, because technically it's really not part of the classic experience or achievements at all, but it was in the list. So me being me, without actually knowing much about where it sits in the timeline of World of Warcraft, I just did this one. Reclamation of Gilneas. It's the Gilneas storyline, and it's really good. I really enjoyed it. You can see here in the background I'm playing it. I was thoroughly enjoying it. Until someone mentioned to me that it's a Dragonflight quest line halfway through doing it. Well, it was on my list, so I just did it anyway. This is what I was talking about earlier, when things are just confusing and they seem to be in the wrong spots. But I did it. I got my little wolf, which is cool, and I did the achievement. So, too bad, so sad. We continue anyway. One of the things that I really had to wrap my hand around was the dungeons, as I mentioned earlier. Especially the raids. In Classic, the raids were done differently. Now that Kata's out, they've changed a lot. Some aren't raids anymore, some are still raids, some are legacy raids. There's some dungeons you unlock through specific trials. There's a whole bunch of different stuff. It's actually really interesting, and I really enjoy the fact that they made it this way. Scholomance especially, it is hidden behind the current Scholomance, but you have to get a toy, and that toy takes a really long time to get. We'll go through that a little bit later, but for now, it's the dungeons. So I went through all of the dungeons. The Deadmine, Shadowfang Keep, Stormwind Stockade, No Morrigan, all of those ones. There were a few that I completed that were technically on the Cataclysm list, but I just did them anyway. Went all the way down to Molten Core and Blackwing Lair. Now, I want to say right from the bat, this was great. I really enjoyed revisiting these old dungeons. There was one a while ago, one of my first streams, that actually tried to solo one of the dungeons. I nearly did it, didn't quite get there, but it was a really fun experience. So, let's look at the memory of Scholomance. You have to perform a ritual with Eva's journal. Now when you look at this originally, you go, okay, let's go get Eva's journal and let's just kill a boss, get it done. Well, no, it's not that simple. This is single-handedly the hardest achievement I've gotten so far. Because it took me literal weeks. I think it took 3.5 weeks for me to complete this achievement. Because there is a toy that you must get. It is called Krastanov's Bag of Horrors. Now you think, fine, let's go get this bag, everything will be happy. No, you can only get this boss to spawn on Heroic, which is fine. I one-shot everything anyway. The problem with the boss only spawning on Heroic is you can only run it once a day per character. I only have one character at this stage able to access this. I can only do this once a day. The spawn rate on this boss is so low, it took me 3 weeks of continuously doing this once a day. I've read on Reddit and all sorts of forums that it's taken people 2 to 3 months on multiple ults at times. But the day that I did get him to spawn, I wasn't even recording because it was just part of my daily ritual at this stage. So anyway, as you can see, we've picked up after he's yelled out and carried on, and we've gone to kill him. Now for anyone that wants to do this, please know that you are doing it right. Heroic, run it, kill the bone guy, and the guy will shout out. You will notice when he appears because he will yell really loud. But once you do it for a long time, you feel like you're doing it wrong. Anyway, those people, you're doing it right, keep going. We kill this dude. You get his little bag of horrors. And then you have to follow the rest of the quest line. It's a bunch of fetch quests. You just have to have Wowhead open and actually help you. I would not have found any of this without actual guides. Anyway, you get all of that done and you unlock Old Scholomance. Go through that, kill everyone. You finally get the achievements required. Despite it being long-winded and frustrating, I really enjoyed it. And I thought this was wonderful. So if you haven't done it, give it a crack. It's a good little learning experience. So we've got that one done. And then we go through and complete the rest. It was really good learning because I had to figure out the Blackwing Lair, the upper lower spires, MC that is within a dungeon itself. It was all really fascinating. So go and do it yourself. If you haven't done these dungeons before, haven't got the achievements, do it yourself because it's fun to learn. I will admit that. One of the last things we need to talk about here is reputation. Now, the Ambassador of the Alliance. It's a really simple reputation grind. But I am locked to classic dungeons. If I could go to the Botanica in TBC, I would, because that's so much faster. But no, I was stuck in Stratham, and I did Stratham roughly 500 times. You only get a really, really small amount of reputation per kill. Even with the Darkmoon Faire buff, it's still tiny. So I ran it, and I ran it, and I ran it again. Eventually, I finally achieved Exalted in Darnassus, Gilneas, Ironforge, Exeter, No Morrigan, and Stormwind. Now, most of these were pumped up because of all the quests I did, but I still had to grab a tabard, run through the dungeon a million times, and eventually complete it. But I did complete it. While I was running this dungeon, don't you worry. I was also completing my other achievement. And that was the Argent Dawn achievement. I had to earn the Exalted status with Argent Dawn. It simply means running Stratham with a certain quest continuously over and over and over again until you complete that. It's not even a daily, it's just a repeatable quest. Enough times to gain the rep from it. So I did that again, and I completed the Argent Dawn. Finally, Hydraxian Waterlords. As simple as running MC a million times, making sure I don't kill the bosses so I can go out and reset it. Again, really simple, but it takes time. I did that, all the reputation complete. I'm going to run through with you live everything that we've done, and we're going to go through the entire list of our achievements, what we've completed, why I haven't completed certain ones, so you know exactly where we're at. But this is it for Brometus. I'm so excited to announce that. Here we go. Welcome back for the final time this season. Brometus is completus. It was awful, but I'm sticking with it. We have done every achievement we can do in the Eastern Kingdoms on one character while region locked. We've obviously missed out on a few things, but they're things we can't really control. I want to look at where we're at right now. Eastern Kingdoms quests are all complete. We've gone through that. Excellent. In the exploration section as well, we look at the Eastern Kingdoms. There's the two we cannot do. The rest is complete. If we go to our dungeons and raids in Classic, there are a few of the ones that I had to fix up, like doing the Scholomance ones, because we had to get the toy to go back. And then the rest that are on Eastern Kingdoms are complete. Every single one we are complete now. Killing 5 players and hold each city below, that's going to be a difficult one. We're just going to have to figure that out. Stormwind as well has the same thing. We're going to have to figure that out. Field Photographer, we've done what we can do for that one. The ones in red are time locked, so we cannot complete those. Lordaeron is an Ouroboros quest. We cannot do that one. And as you can see, we're going down the list and we're actually doing it. Insane in the Membrane, something I can't do right now and won't do right now. A Vast Yamrel, also something we will do, but it's a feat of strength, so don't have to do it right now. And player versus player, we will work on that as well in our PvP character. And there we are complete. We've done everything we possibly can with the zones. Dungeons, again, it's the same thing we went through before. Raids, same thing we went through before. And the Dragon Races, we have done the Eastern Kingdoms, pet battles as well. We've gone through it all. As you can see here, it's all complete. We're done. Brometus can now be retired. Now, what does that mean for Brometus to be retired? Well, very simply...
What do we do now? What do you mean? Now we can finally play the game. Oh yeah.
It's really exciting. I'm keen to explore Midnight and all it has to offer, but only on Brometus. Brometus will also do other things like professions. We'll have videos where he pops in and he does extra stuff, as well as the rest of the characters as we introduce them all. Speaking of new characters, it's time for us to roll our new character. I won't do it this video though. That will be reserved for our new season to be launched. But if you want to see what happens in our new seasons and everything that's currently happening, including our Legion content, which I'm working on currently due to Legion Remix, check out our streams. Jump into our Discord. This is the plug for all of the extra socials that I have. Jump into all of those and be a part of something special, because we're building and it's really fun so far. That's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. I appreciate all of you and your time. Please remember to subscribe. I don't ask it often. I don't do the call to action often. So take this as your call to action right now. Give us a little sub, a comment, a like. It really helps. I've had an amazing response from everyone in the community for this season. I thank you all so much for your time, and please know that I am not stopping anytime soon. I've got more time up my sleeve to create more videos. So, like I said before, like, subscribe, comment your thoughts down below, and I'll see you very soon in the next season of Altaholics Achievements. See you later.